They called him Hachi. At first, he was just another stray, a small Akita, wandering through Tokyo's busy streets in the early 1920s. But one morning, a kind professor found him shivering near Shibuya Station. The man bent down, smiled, and offered him half a rice ball. That was the beginning of everything. From that day on, Hachi followed the professor everywhere, to the market, to the park, and every morning to the train station. When the professor boarded his train to work, Hachi would sit by the gate and watch the crowd until the last glimpse of him disappeared. Then he'd wait again in the afternoon, right at the same spot, for the sound of the evening train returning home. Rain or snow, weekday or holiday, Hachi was always there, tail wagging, eyes bright as if time itself moved according to that one train's arrival. But one day, the professor didn't come back. A sudden heart attack struck him during a lecture, and he never boarded the return train again. The news spread quietly among the people at Shibuya, but Hachi didn't understand. He kept showing up, same time, same place, sitting patiently as the trains came and went. Passengers brushed past him. Conductors grew older. Schedules changed, but Hachi remained. Days turned into months, months into years. Sometimes the station staff tried to chase him away, thinking he was a stray nuisance. But he always returned, padding through the crowd, tail low, ears searching for a voice he would never hear again. Rain fell. Summers burned. Winters froze his paws against the ground. Still, he waited. Vendors began to notice. A fruit seller left him scraps of apple. A train conductor saved him a seat under the eaves when it rained. A young student stopped every day to pat his head. And little by little, Hachi stopped being the stray. He became the dog who waits. 9 years passed. The city changed, new buildings rose, new faces came and went. But every afternoon at the exact same hour, Hachi would limp through the crowd and take his place by the ticket gate. He'd perk his ears at every passing man in a brown coat, every voice that sounded almost familiar. And each time it wasn't him, he would lower his head and wait again. The people of Shibuya began to love him not out of pity, but out of reverence. Because in a world rushing forward, Hachi had never moved on. On the 8th of March 1935, they found him lying peacefully in the same spot, as if he had finally seen the train he'd been waiting for. The entire station went silent that morning. Vendors closed their stalls. Conductors stood still. Tokyo wept for a dog who had outloved time. They built a bronze statue for him, not for what he did, but for what he never stopped doing. Hachiko's story became a legend, not about a dog, but about love that endures, even when the world no longer understands it. Every day now, at Shibuya Station, people still stop before his statue. Some touch it gently before boarding their train. Some whisper, "I'll be back soon." And maybe, somewhere beyond all the departures and arrivals, Hachi is still there, tail wagging, eyes bright, waiting at the old train station for the one who promised to come home.